Mr. Singh, I want to go back to the cell phone question. After Rogers Shaw, I asked you, did you know how much Rogers, the prices went up and how much the wireless revenue per customer went up, and I didn't get an answer. It's 1% for the year, and already the highest prices at a time when this government promised that it would reduce prices by 50%. Actually, it said it did that. At the end of the day, we're seeing a government that's promising something, it's not delivering. We're seeing that you're standing behind them and not doing enough to force them. You have the power, sir. And even when you were in committee with Heritage last week, you had the Bell CEO, Mike Bibick, in front of you. You didn't even ask him a question about the new Loblaws rates and the no price and the no name rates that are being offered through Bell. What is your red line, sir, in order to hold this government up to stop mergers that are hurting Canadians? Like you say, not just bills or asking a question in Parliament, but your red line to hold this government up to ensure you're standing up for Canadians, because we've not seen that at all.
I'm glad you brought up the Bell CEO. I think it'd be important to note that I was the only leader that went up against CEOs. I've gone against the Bell CEO. I've taken on the grocery CEOs. Again, I was the only leader there to take on these wealthy and powerful corporations that are ripping off Canadians. I'm proud to be the only leader. I wish other leaders would understand how important this is and how much they're abusing Canadians, and they expect the leaders to show up. I believe that's a role of government, to stop big corporations from ripping off Canadians. That's why I showed up to ask these questions. That's why I will continue to take on big corporations.
You've allowed these corporations.
In addition, I have to say,
and Canadians see right through you. Mr. Chair,
Conservatives know that I'm fighting back against. I'm just going to finish my answer. The question was quite long. I'm going to finish my answer, and then I'm happy to take any more questions. It is clear, and the Liberal and the Conservative know this very well, that I've taken on corporate wealth and corporate greed and the exploitation of these CEOs. The question specifically around Bell, the matter had not arisen. I would have loved to ask that question to the Bell CEO. I asked the question to the Prime Minister when I learned of it, but it would have been a great question to put to the CEO. But let's point out, neither Pierre Poilievre or Justin Trudeau asked any questions of these CEOs, but I did.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Singh. Mr. Perkins.
I want to go back to MP Singh. I want to go back to my question. Did your brother meet with the CEO of Metro, yes or no?
Can you repeat the question?
Did your brother, who works for one of the largest lobbyist firms in Canada, meet with the CEO of Metro?
You know, it's really interesting. Again, the Conservatives want to attack my family, but not the corporate greed of the CEO of Metro, Loblaws, and Sobeys. I wonder why.
Well, on April 1st, 2025, the Prime Minister is going to increase the carbon tax again, which is jacking up the cost of everything, including food, which you seem to be concerned about, but unwilling to do anything about, other than a puffery bill here. So on April 1st, 2025, when the carbon tax increases again, will you oppose that carbon tax increase, yes or no?
I think it's very telling that the Conservative member just said that a bill that goes after the bread price fixing, that goes after collusion, that goes after large corporations ripping off Canadians, his quote is, he called that a, quote, puffery bill. That is very insightful into the Conservatives' viewpoint of corporate greed.
So the answer is no.
They think that stopping corporate greed, I want Canadians to know this. I'm going to answer, I'm going to finish the question. I'm going to respond to your question. I'm going to finish it.
Longer than I asked.
Not at all. They specifically are referring to a bill that's going to take on corporate greed and stop what happened with the bread price fixing. He's referring to that as a puffery bill. That shows you where the Conservatives stand on this.
I want to go back to the ethics issue. Did you, yes or no, talk to the ethics commissioner or the conflict of interest commissioner before you went out against the grocery companies to inform them and get clearance because of your brother's role in defending and lobbying for Metro? Did you do that, yes or no?
First of all, that's patently.
Are you breaking the ethics laws?
Firstly, that's patently false. And secondly, I've attacked the Loblaw CEO, the CEO of Metro, the CEO of Sobeys. I've directly called them out for ripping off Canadians. I've not heard the Conservatives do that. And I wonder why. I believe the reason is the Conservatives have no interest in going after the real reason why Canadians are paying the highest prices for groceries, which is corporate
It's
greed.
because of the
They're going to
carbon
ignore
tax
that
and the
and know
budget
what they're
that
willing to
you
do. They're
continue
going to
to
attack
support
anyone
the
else, but for the
inflationary
real
spending
reason.
that you
Mr.
continue
Perkins,
to
Mr.
support.
Singh, it's impossible to hear. Je pense qu'on peut faire mieux. La
We can do better, Mr. Perkins.
floor is yours.
Okay. So it'd be nice to get a straight answer for you once. You sound just like a Liberal minister. Yes or no, did you talk to the Ethics Commissioner to deal with your obvious conflict of interest?
The thrust of your question is, who am I attacking? I'm attacking the CEO of Metros. I'm attacking the CEO of Loblaws.
That's not the
I'm
question.
attacking the CEO of Sobeys. But the Conservatives are wanting to attack everyone else, even my family,
No, I'm
rather
willing-
than go
I'm
after
willing to
corporate
go
greed.
after you for
That
your
is very
hypocrisy,
telling.
your
That is
blatant
very telling.
Thank you,
hypocrisy.
colleagues. That's all the time we have.